And I am back with the beautiful Rebekah McKendry from Fangoria. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here with the beautiful Raina.
I want to ask you, you're getting into directing.
Yeah.
Feature. I think that's awesome. What have you done lately?
Actually, we just debuted one of my shorts here, and it simultaneously debuted at Cinemayhem in Los Angeles at the same time, which was kind of cool. But yeah, we're now on our 7th, 8th short that we've been doing, and we have a feature that we start on in the fall that's in pre-production right now.
Awesome. Can you tell us a little bit, anything about the feature?
I can't yet. I can say that whereas most of my stuff is comedy, it's not a comedy, which is kind of weird. Most of my stuff is like more comedic horror, and this one is very dark. So I'm kind of excited though.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So who are your influences when you started getting into directing? Because I know you've worked for Fangoria magazine for a while, and what made you decide to take that leap?
I'd been working for Fango, and I did a lot of the television production stuff back when Fango TV was still happening, and I really got into, I guess, kind of just controlling the way that things looked on screen, and I was doing it as a producer for Fango TV, but then I ended up directing a couple of music videos, and that really kind of piqued my interest a little bit more, and then we started doing film. But influence-wise, I definitely have to say Maya Deren is one of my biggest. She's a filmmaker, and she also wrote, directed, everything from the 1940s, and I just love her dearly. Very experimental, like David Lynch before David Lynch.
Nice.
So, but yeah, she did everything herself, and she's amazing.
That's great. Now you do horror, but is there another genre you'd love to branch out and do?
I've always wanted to do a musical.
Me too.
Yeah,
I agree.
I absolutely love musical theater, and so that's kind of like my private passion. Like, I do horror all day and watch thousands of horror movies a year, but then at the end of the day, I'm in my car singing, show tunes on the way home. So someday, and I know that if I did it, it would have to have dark themes in it just because it's me, and horror kind of infiltrates everything I do. But yeah, eventually I'll do my horror musical. It's coming. It's coming.
Are you a Glee fan?
Actually, I've never seen a single episode of Glee.
Really? I figure you would have been a Glee fan. That's what I veg out to after a long day. I'm like, Glee's on.
No, mine's any musical that comes out, I just absolutely love. And I still love going to the theater to see them. So, yeah.
Awesome. So, directing, you're doing writing, you're doing a lot of stuff. When do you have time to sleep?
I usually get like 3 or 4 a night. No, I get so bored if I'm not doing everything. Okay. And because I absolutely love what I do, it never really seems like work. So sometimes my husband will have to be like, it's like 2 a.m., Becky, you should go to sleep now. And then I put down the computer and, everything that I'm working on, or turn off the movies. And yeah, but I absolutely love everything I do, so that keeps me more motivated than sleep would.
Awesome. Now, there's a lot of talks all the time, especially in the horror genre, of the male versus female director thing. How do you feel about females nowadays with directing? Is there a lot more nowadays? Is there a lot more coming out? Where do women stand today?
I think that there are so many more female directors kind of coming out of the woodwork now, and it's phenomenal. I think that's largely in part to organizations like Viscera and Etheria, and women, not even horror-based, but just some of the women filmmaker groups, really trying to push it forward, and I think that's phenomenal. As for the actual tone of the film, there's definitely differences in the way that you're going to see genre presented, but women can do gore and guts and everything else just as well as anybody else, so.
How do you feel about the Masters of Horror dinners? Because now they're kind of bringing some women into it. Do you feel that Masters of Horror should be just kept men and maybe women should have their own? Or do you think it would be nice to just combine Masters of Horror and have just both the male, female in there?
I'm not too into the bifurcation of the sexes. I think that we just all go in together. Women are masters just the same. And Tammy Sutton, I saw, was at the last one. And I am so proud of her for kind of, breaking through that wall. So that's awesome.
I totally agree. I think the whole breaking each other up, there's all this he versus she and all this stuff is just kind of like, okay, baby talk, I'm glad you said that, because I'm really supportive of everyone just coming together and trying to do something great, and I think that's awesome.
It all comes down to the quality of the film. And if you're making good films, how you do it or who you are isn't as important to me as the product that you're creating. And so, it can come from anybody. So.
Awesome. Well, is there a website besides Fangoria that we could catch your stuff?
You can find me on Facebook and Twitter.
Cool. And then what about your short films or anything? Are those on YouTube or Vimeo?
One of my, actually a couple of my short films are up on YouTube. The Dump is on YouTube, and Witch's Brew is on YouTube, and Barista, I think, is on Vimeo. And then the other ones are still in festival circuit, so I'm not allowed to post them yet.
Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for the interview.
Thank you so much.